Good morning, my beautiful coloring friends. Julianne here of Julianne Annette Art. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. If you are new, I hope you consider sticking around. I'd love to have you, and maybe subscribe if you like what you see. It's a gorgeous day. I think you can see the blue sky, a little bit hazy because there's some distant fires. Nothing's close. No one needs to worry about me, but we do just have a little bit of smoke in the air, but it's compared to last year, we're doing great. I'm going to share with you today my July completed pages, and I'm going to share with you some whips that I'm carrying forward that I didn't even work on last month, but I'd like to get my whips under control. I think by the end of 2024. I don't have very many whips right now, so by the end of 2024, I'd like to have like no previous whips unless there's something that I'm only carrying from December into January. That's my goal. I did manage a bit of a stats page in my coloring planner. I kind of big time copied from Disney Mags, but then I did add some stats about the whips because I'd like to stay on top of them and not lose them completely. I don't want to end up with a whole bunch of whips all over the place. I do try to finish what I start, but I do have some pages that are previous. So like I said, I'm just going to share them so that I can kind of be aware of them and carry them through in my stats. I'm not going to show you my stats page for today because it's pretty scribbly, but I think by August I can make it a little bit tidier. I just kind of scribbled it out this morning to see where I was at. Unfortunately, I don't have any washi tape yet, so I can't make it super pretty, but I'll do what I can with some markers. But yeah, washi tape is one of the things on my wish list. I've seen it at the dollar store. Has anybody tried like dollar store washi tape? I'm a little bit hesitant because I don't know. I feel like it's not gonna stick well, or if I want it, yeah, well, I would use painter's tape. I want it to be decorative, but I don't know. I'm a little bit fearful of dollar store washi tape, but I suppose I could try it because if I'm just testing it in my planner, then it's not going to ruin any coloring pages or anything. So yeah, but if you have tried dollar store washi tape, let me know what you've thought of it and if it works for you. Anyway, without further ado, I will switch camera views and start showing you my whips and my completed pages. Okay, so starting with my whips, I'm actually just going to show you the page that I told you I'm not going to show you with my July stats. So I did complete 11 pages out of a total of 10 books. I was so close to completing the 12th page, but I just couldn't get it done last night. I worked in 7 untouched books and 3 PDF pages, and I did 2 challenges / prompts. I worked in 2 project books and did 2 project pages. I have them as a separate stat because sometimes they're going to be a double page spread, like particularly Alien Worlds has a lot of double page spreads, and going forward in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly they're all going to be double page spreads. So I kind of want to track the project books that I'm working in separate from the project pages that I'm working in. I had 5 buddies this month and 6 buddy pages. And then I'm really struggling here. I'm going to zoom you in. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to track my whips. So I had 7 whips that I had previous when July started. I had 7 whips. I started 10 new pages. And then I completed 2 of the old whips, but out of my new pages, I've left one new whip. And so my total whips at the moment is 6. I think that's a really confusing way of putting it, but until I come up with something better, it is what it is. For my social media, I only just started at the beginning of June. I started my channel. So I ended June with 113 subscribers. And then July, I've just ended with 139. So I gained 26 subscribers in July. And then Instagram, I had 200 followers. And I think, again, I only started in May. So I had 200 followers at the end of June. And then I gained 23 subscribers and have, or followers, and have 223 at the end of July. So, yeah, that's fun to know. I'm going to open this up to my pages so that I know what and who and the things that I need to know. So starting with, I'm going to start with the whips, and I'm going to start with the most recent whips. So the most recent one that I almost got done but just couldn't finish last night was this. And so this was supposed to be for Jamie's Coloring Love White Hair Blue Eyes hashtag. And she was all based in alcohol. And I was lazy last night and I didn't feel like doing any shading with pencils, but I decided to go over it with white Posca, which is kind of fine for the glass jar here. Her hair is a bit of a wreck, but I'll sort it out pretty quick this month and get her finished. I'm not going to leave it hanging. I don't think it'll take me too long. I might go back over with some more alcohol marker and just try to do some like block shading with alcohol marker as opposed to trying to do a lot of pencil shading, because I think at this point I just want to make it easier on myself, but we'll see how that goes. So that is one whip that I only just started in July. And then this one I had left myself in June, which is, oh, did I say? So that one was the Hannah Lynn Fierce and Fancy Fantasy Faces Line Art and Grayscale Pocket Size Coloring Book. And then this one is Nice Little Town 13. And I had started this one in June. And I had done this yellow and red house, and then I wasn't happy with it. And it's funny because there was another page that I was just looking at with a house, and it might have been in Romantic Country, but I was looking at the house thinking, oh, that would be so pretty. And I just immediately thought of coloring it yellow. And I don't know, like, what is this attraction to me wanting to color yellow houses? I don't know. You don't see a lot of yellow houses. But then I Googled. Do you guys see that? I Googled, like, what does it mean when you're thinking of a yellow house or something? And it turns out I think Vincent van Gogh had a painting about a yellow house, and to him it symbolized hope. And so maybe that's why I'm attracted to yellow houses, is because I just see them as a vision of hope or something. So that's what I'm going to go with. I don't think I'm going to get to this in August. We'll see. My month is really full. And then September is Space-tember. So I want to do as much space coloring as I can. And then October is going to be like spooky stuff. And I don't know when I'm going to get to my whips, but I'm going to have to try to squeeze them in. Because like I said, I do want to try to get them done before the end of the year. So going backward, then I have Geomorphia. I have the drafts page that I had started and didn't get any further. You know, I like how the spots are looking. That's about it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot to do. Maybe I'll try like a watercolor pencil or something, or maybe even watercolor, because it's single-sided, so it doesn't matter if anything bleeds through. So I could even try like watercolor for this like cloud and the sky, just to make it a little bit easier. That might not be a bad idea. So that is whip number 3 that I'm carrying forward. And then whip number 4 is in Joanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder. And this one, I was following a color along with My Colorful Country Life, and I chose that because I'm still relatively new to coloring. And so with her color along with this page, then I was able to do lights and jars, and those are things that are difficult. And so I still probably will go back to her color along, but I don't know, it's not jumping out at me to finish this page, but I might work on this one, like little bits here and there, as the mood strikes me. The next whip is Mythographic Paradise by Fabiana Atanasio. And so this whip is like my oldest whip. It's from March. It's from March because it was actually supposed to be for a color with Ukraine hashtag for flowering trees, I think. And so I started it, but I just got stuck with the background and the mountain, and it basically stopped me in my tracks. So it's not a lot to do, and I think I mentioned I'd like to paint it. I'd like to paint the background maybe, but I don't know. I might end up doing it in colored pencil. I have no idea. We'll see. But you know what? I really like how the birds look. I erased them like 3 times. They were too dark. And I finally got like some color depth, and then I'm color depth into them. And I'm really happy with how they're looking, and I'm happy with the flowers. I mean, the temples, they're not great, but it's kind of hard. And I think very straight, boxy, linear things are not as fun for me as organic shapes to color. So the temple, like, it's cool looking, and I think I colored it okay, but it wasn't the most exciting part. It was about the birds and the flowers for me. Anyway, I know I need to get back to it. I don't know when I'm going to fit these in. The next whip I will actually finish for sure this month. And it is actually, I'm going to show you the whip, and it's basically going to lead right into my first completed page. So I'm going to stick a little tab in here. So the whip is, we're looking at Aries World Literature. This is the project book that I'm doing with Jordy from Jordy Colors and Kate from Kate's Coloring Haven. So last month, June, was supposed to be this page, and I had done the sun with colored pencil, realized how incredibly toothy this paper is. And so then I started doing the rest just with watercolor paint. And, you know, it's really patchy, but it's not bad. I think his coat looks kind of neat, even though it's patchy. So I'd like to just continue the rest with watercolor paint, throw in some pencil shading. And I did do a little bit of shading on the cloud when I was working on this other page. But I don't want to leave it hanging. I don't want to leave it over my head. So I definitely will work on this page and finish it off in August. So on to my first completed page for the month, which was not my actual first completed page for the month, is this Fox and the Stork. And so it's from the Aesop's Fables. And I read all of the fables that the pages were based on. And so with the fox and the stork, the fox has the stork over to her house and has these very shallow bowls, and the stork can't eat soup out of the shallow bowl, and the fox is all like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And the stork is like, No, don't worry. Come over to my house for lunch next week." And so then the stork serves them in these tall vases, and the fox can't eat out of it. And the moral of the story is one bad turn deserves another, which I find funny because now we say one good turn deserves another, but that's not the original one. Anyway, I did all of this with watercolor pencil, my Arteza watercolor pencils. And then I went over just with some white Posca over the jars. And I don't think I did anything else. It's literally all watercolor pencils. I didn't envision it being this kind of pale and muted, but I did really like the look of it. I did want an extremely limited color palette. I love how the fox turned out. Dogs growling in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but I apologize. They can't handle it when dogs walk past on the street because, they're dogs. Anyway, yeah, I like the limited color palette. I ended up really liking it being muted and watercolor looking, so I didn't really, even though I had originally intended to go back over and do pencil shading, I decided I didn't want to. I just really liked the look of it as it is. It's not my favorite page of the month, but I do really like it. So yeah, I'm happy with it. And as far as my stats goes, the one page that I actually technically finished in July, but I showed you guys at the end of my June video, was from Joseph Kattenbang's Magical Earth, the Ladybug page that I did with Jess from the Coloring Bumblebee. So it is technically a July page, and it is technically in my July stats because that's where I've actually listed it as being completed. But I showed it to you guys last month. So the next one was a buddy color with Mary Full Colors on Instagram. And this was supposed to be a June one as well, but I just didn't get to it in June. And so we did this Hummingbird page, and I based it all with watercolor marker. I went over it with colored pencil. I absolutely love how the Hummingbird turned out. I kind of layered some grays and some browns and some greens and all sorts of stuff on the Hummingbird. And then I really wanted to kind of lighten certain spots. And so I actually just scribbled with a white Jelly Roll pen and scribbled it and then smudged the white ink around with my finger until I achieved the look that I was going for. So I'm super thrilled with the Hummingbird. I think these flowers fall a little bit short. I wanted them to be like a really pale dahlia looking flower, but I don't know that it really translates. It just kind of looks flat. There is a little bit of shading. There is a little bit of difference of dark to light, but it's really hard to tell. It's really hard to see, I think. And then this background is just done with soft chalk pastel. I haven't fixed it, which is why I have the paper in here still. But I'm quite happy with it. So I actually had a reference picture and used the reference picture as inspiration for this colorful background. So I'm going to insert the reference picture to show you because I think it's cool. And then I'm also going to move this over and I'm going to show you Mary's page. I love hers. I love the colors that she used. I think she did such a beautiful job on it. Yeah, I was really, really impressed with hers. I often tend to go, I know I've said this before, I tend to go literal, right? I see a hummingbird and then I have to say, okay, well, I'm going to make this an Anna's hummingbird, and I have to be really literal about it. So this one's the male with his flashy gorget, and then the other ones are females, because we know that many males can't be around each other. And it's just, it's hard being inside my brain sometimes. I also used a little bit of yellow paint pen for the little stamen things inside some of these petunia looking flowers. So yeah, overall I'm happy with it. I think the hummingbird is definitely better than the rest of the page, but I like it. So the next buddy color I have is from, oh, did I say that this is from Circle of Life by Melpomene Chatsapanigutu? I'm not sure if that's how you say her name. I apologize if that is not. But that's how I'm going to say it. So then, yeah, next one was Whimsy Girls from the Archives by Hannah Lynn. And this was a buddy color with Megan from Disney Makes Coloring. And we did the Dorothy page, and I think she turned out so cute. So Hannah Lynn noses, you know, they're Hannah Lynn noses, and so there isn't one, and sometimes you can choose to color it in or sometimes you don't. So this is my first attempt at actually shading in a nose for a Hannah Lynn page. It's not great, but you know, it's not bad for my first attempt. I'm going to show you a couple pages in a bit that I think I did much better on. But so for this, I just based it all in my Touch alcohol markers. And so, you know, with Toto, I based it with a lighter gray, but then I also put in some strokes with a deeper gray. And I regret that, because I think if I had just based it with the lighter gray, I would have been able to achieve a better fur look with just colored pencil. But having to try to go over the thick alcohol marker strokes that I had done, I wasn't really happy with how his fur turned out. Like, it's not bad, but I know I could have done better if I hadn't shaded it the way that I did. And so, yeah, I've got some white paint pen for highlights and things, and yeah, and some pencil shading. I think I've pencil shaded most of it. I didn't do any pencil shading on her dress. Maybe a little bit of gray on the white part just for some shadow, but it's almost impossible to see. I'm going to move it over so that I can insert Megan's page. Hers turned out so cute. Her rainbow, she did it like not a typical rainbow. It was really cute, and yeah, I thought hers turned out great. Just much more bright and light than my page. My page ended up a little bit darker, but yeah, I love hers. So that is that, Whimsy Girls from the Archives. And then the next one was actually another buddy color with Megan. These are not in order of how I colored them, because I don't seem to have any record of that or any concept of that. So this is Gnome Sweet Gnome by Teresa Goodrich. This is my first page colored in this, and I'm not thrilled with it. We did this carnival page, or little fair, and I had a vision of these like kind of light vintage colors. Again, I had an inspiration pick, and I think I'll try to insert it here to show you what my inspiration was. And I think I did achieve the look that I was going for. It is, you know, I stuck to my color palette, and it looks cohesive. Something about the lettering here throws me off, but I can't even put my finger on it. It looks like an 80s toy brand lettering or something like that. It reminds me of, I think. Anyway, it's all based with the Touch alcohol markers again, except for the ground. I decided I was just going to do pencil on the ground. Whether that was a good idea or not, who knows? Yeah. Everything else is based with the Touch alcohol markers. There's some yellow paint pen and white paint pen over the lines. I think this is a little bit of beige paint pen even to fill the little streamers in. I think there's some thin markers too, because I don't have my Touch alcohol markers are like the fine nibs. They're not brush tip, and so it's really hard to stay in the lines. I started doing this with my Touch, and it was just an absolute mess. And so then I stopped, and I went over the letters with just like a dual tip water base marker with the fine tip, and I used that. Yeah, so I think overall I'm happy with it. I definitely achieved the look that I was going for, but I also went over with some silver gel pen over the strings and his little baton thing. All the balloon strings. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to insert Meg's page here. I absolutely love how she did hers. It's like a 4th of July kind of fun day out. I think hers is so cool. I thought I had a limited color palette, but she really nailed the limited color palette. So thank you, Megan, for coloring with me. I really enjoyed both the pages, even though they're not my favorites, but that's just me learning to be a coloring person. My next page is from Annie Day. And so this was for the AC Annie Day hashtag Amanda Colors. And so I did this page of Annie on the boardwalk with her little dog. So again, I based it with alcohol markers. They're such a learning process for me. I really struggle with basing with the alcohol markers. I struggle because why does no marker or colored pencil brand have a good beige? Why is it so hard to find a good beige? My set of Touch alcohol markers is a 120 set, and there is a putty that is this light beige color, and then there's some skin colors that are like quite light. And you know, I tried to do the sand, and it was like, actually, do you know, I think this is like a golden color over a green, and then it ended up just kind of sandy-ish. But it's really hard to find a good beige, and everything is so dark or skin color, and there's no just like, yeah, I find it really hard to find. I only have budget products at the moment. I don't have high-end products. I know that Prismacolor has a few nice beigey colors, and I'm sure that, you know, Polychromos probably does. And I'm sure that Ohuhu has some lovely light beige colors in their set, but they are out of my price range at the moment. Anyway, so I based it in alcohol marker. I ended up doing the water is completely done with paint pen, and I kind of went over with a lighter aqua color and then a darker tealy color. And I just, while they were wet, just kind of kept smushing them together and made this effect. But I think it looks really cool. Like I said, I actually had done all of this light green, not the beach part, but all of this I had done light green. And then I decided I wanted to make it sandy. So I went back over the green with the gold color that I used. And then so that it matched, I ended up going all over this, the green, so that I could put the gold over top. I ended up looking way better than I could have imagined, considering I started out with a light green that matched all this. And then I did take those heat thrown dual tip markers and just use the fine tip bit for doing little sandy dots. And I tried to make this dog look like my dog. She's a little miniature labradoodle, Australian miniature labradoodle. And she's kind of like, she used to be orange when she was younger, but she's gone a bit more like a champagne color. But again, there's no good colors to base it with, and I don't have any good beiges. And so I got the Crayola 24 colors of the world, but they're just hard. They're Crayola and they're hard to work with. And so this was the best that I could do for a fur attempt, and it's pretty sad. And I promise you guys, the next time I do fur, it's gonna look better. But overall, I'm still content with the page. I think Annie's cute. I like her little pink polka dot outfit. I think it did okay on the wood. I know the alcohol marker looks a little bit splotchy, but it's also, I wanted it to have a bit of a wood textured effect, so it works out. There's also some green paint pen in here, and I think some green of the fine heat thrown water-based markers as well. And of course the white Posca for the clouds and the water lines. Yeah, there's a lot of not my favorite, but pretty okay for this month. I'm not loving most of them. But don't worry, my favorite is yet to come. I have iced coffee this morning, but I put in too much sweet cream, and it's just a little bit too sweet. So my next pages I'm going to share are some PDFs. So this one is from Coloring Heaven Chibi's issue by Josh Lee, and it was a buddy color with Jane, who is Colored with Love 2021 on Instagram and Colored with Love Jane on YouTube. I will put her name up here in the description so that you can see. And so yeah, we did this pirate chibi page. Our pages ended up looking quite similar because how much can you do with a rubber ducky pirate boat? But it's really cute. I based all of this stuff with alcohol marker, and then I did the water entirely in colored pencil, and I burnished the colored pencil, and then I did the sky in colored pencil, and I didn't feel like burnishing it, so I actually do have Ohuhu blunder pens. I don't have the rest of the Ohuhu alcohol markers, but I do have the Ohuhu alcohol blender pens, and so I blended out my color pencil with the Ohuhu blender pen, and I think it worked really well. I have what is it? So I have this koi coloring brush that is supposed to be used for their water-based, they're like those watercolor markers. And I tried to use this, but it just acted like water, and it really wanted to kind of tear the page. So that didn't work, but the Ohuhu alcohol one worked really great, and I was really happy with the look of it. So there is a little bit of white Posca on this little flash. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is a little bit of the Folk Art Extreme glitter over the white paint, just to give a little bit of a flash to the sparkle. His pistol's supposed to be a water gun, but I just kind of made it gray. I wasn't feeling creative. Jane's ended up really cute. She made hers colorful, like a little plastic water gun. So I'm going to insert her page here. Hers is really cute. She finished hers really fast, and then I had to actually keep referring to hers so that I didn't just, like, I would have made my pirate the same colors with the darker red coat and the blue pants, but I didn't want to just make it like hers, so I kept having to refer to hers so that I could at least try to do some things different. And back to my beige issue, I had a brown pant, but then I had to go over it differently because I wanted to use that brown for his peg leg. I had tried to do a brown hat, but it didn't work out, and I didn't like the look of it. And so then I went over it. And so, you know, his hat's a little bit patchy, but I think a pirate who is on a little rubber ducky covered in duct tape is going to be having a shabby looking hat. I don't think his hat's going to be shiny. I think it's going to be shabby and, you know, looking a little worse for wear. So it works, and I'm happy with it. And I really love Josh Lee's art, and I really look forward to doing more of his pages. I'm going to zoom it out a little bit, sorry. So that was that one. Thank you, Jane, for coloring with me, and thank you for being patient while I took forever. Next, so for Amazon Prime Day, my mother-in-law ordered some brush tip alcohol markers. They are I think Colpart is the name. And so they're definitely a step up from my touch, even though a lot of them have the same numbers and the same names, but the colors are different. And so my niece was over when they arrived, and we had fun sorting through all the colors and putting them in order, and we swatched them all out, and she chose a page for us to color. But she had already done a lot of coloring over the weekend, so she didn't get to finish this, and my mother-in-law had started it, but she wasn't really into it either, so she didn't finish it. So I'm only going to show you my page, but my niece did pick it out, and so it's this page, and it's from Hannah Lynn's Maui Mermaids and Island Whimsy Girls. So it's my first attempt with dark skin. It's a little bit blotchy. I did manage to cover some of the blotchiness with colored pencil, but it's still a little bit blotchy. I had to use the chisel end for the skin because this marker, the brush tip was so stiff that it was too skinny. It was like a fine point. And so, yeah, but it's entirely based with the new Colpart brush tip alcohol markers, and practicing the blending with the Ohuhu blender pen. And, you know, I'm really, really happy with how it worked out. Like, the way the bushes and the cliff face and her leaves and all of that. The sand, I kind of used too dark of a color. Why is it so hard to find a good beige? I don't know. So the color that was called sand was actually quite bright orange, because, you know, why not? It's a budget brand, and I don't know why I expect any different. So then I went over it with a color called brown gray that turns out to be a really great sand color, but it was quite dark by then. So I did that, and then I tried to go over this. I had seen, I think it's Elm Colors, said that she used Folk Art Extreme Glitter to go over the underwater part. And so I did that. She probably did some other maybe colored pencil or, you know, watered down white paint. I don't know, but she probably did something before she put on the Folk Art Extreme Glitter to make it look more watery. I just went over it and it looked absolutely no different, just a little bit of glitter that you can see. And so then I went over that with a couple layers of a really watered down blue watercolor paint, just to try to make it look a little bit more underwater. Unfortunately, my fish was so cute and so well blended, and then the blue watercolor kind of wrecked him a little bit. I just want to say, the Folk Art Extreme Glitter, it says it is hologram. It is not hologram. This is not holographic. Holographic looks like a rainbow. This is just iridescent. So I don't like it when companies claim to be holographic. Like, this is a holographic. You can see the way the light hits this. That rainbow that you get, that is holographic. There's nothing holographic about this. It is iridescent. It just kind of shines blue or gold or light. Yeah, greenish goldish kind of, right? That's iridescence. That's not holographic. Vent aside, I'm super happy with this page. I think she turned out really great. You can see I tried a nose again. Emily from eArt Studios shared with me a video for doing a nose on Hannah Lynn faces. And you know, the little divot or little line that is the base of the nose, it was quite wide on this one. And so I had to make her nose kind of wider. So it was kind of hard to follow the tutorial because I really had to adjust it to fit this. But I think it turned out quite well. I'm very happy with it. And I like her hair. I love the flowers. Yeah, I'm super happy with it. Also, this is the first time I have done a black border around it, and I really like it. And then this copper is these metal painting pens, these here, that just came from Amazon. My mother-in-law ordered them, so I'm not sure how much they were, but I'm pretty sure they're not super expensive. They say they're painting, and they do act like acrylic paint pens, but there's no shaking, there's no pumping. It's just this tip. That's just like a normal fiber tip, but they are metallic, and yeah, I really like using those for the border on the Hannah Lynn pages. So that is that one. And then the third one, this one is a Buddy Color. It's also from Hannah Lynn's Maui Mermaids. And it's a Buddy Color with Shakira, who is Shakira's Coloring Corner on Instagram. And it is this one, and I love her. I love her so much. I love how I did the bird. I love how I did the feathers and the flowers. I love it. I'm so happy with it. So again, this was based with the cold part alcohol markers. I want to say, like, with the white Posca, I think I'm getting better at doing the highlights. Highlights in the eyes. So it was based with the cold part brush tip alcohol markers. There's some paint pen, like I did these bubbles, just solid paint pen, glitter gel pen on her little pendant and the little silver guys. Paint pen for the waterfall streams and this. There is some blending. It's hard to see, but I did use the white or the alcohol blender pen with a pale blue, just to kind of give a bit of color to the mist, but it's really hard to see. I didn't feel the need with this one to kind of differentiate the underwater. I thought it looked a bit more underwater than the other one. I love her hair. I love everything about this. I absolutely adore it. I had to do paint pen completely over the eye because of the way that Hannah Lynn had done the eye, and I had a picture of a parrot, and so I wanted to do the parrot like to be that kind of parrot. And so I completely painted over the eye and then redid it. Yeah, I'm super happy with it. I'm gonna move it over and I'm gonna show you. Sorry, that's my iced coffee in the way. I'm gonna show you Shakira's page here. Hers is so cute as well. It's been a little while since I've looked at it, but I remember thinking it was really cute, and I like the colors that she used. And I really like how she did her parrot too. I thought it was cute. And she also did the, you know, the Hannah Lynn pages always have a, not always, but usually the Hannah Lynn books will have a zoomed in version, a simpler version, and then the more detailed version. And so I have done my simpler versions. And basically what I've decided to do with this book is that I'm going to do it entirely through, only doing the simpler versions. And then when I've completed all of them, then I'm going to do the detailed versions. And I think that's a really cool way to do it. Because then it's just like a whole new coloring book. And I love the art. And I also want to say, Shakira and I had already chosen this page to do for our buddy color. And then my niece chose this page. And they're so similar, like the mermaids leaning on the sand in front of the waterfall. Obviously, I'm not going to tell my niece no when she wants to color that page. So I did try to make them different. So I did this one first because, you know, when the niece is here, everything else stops and we play with the nieces. And so because this one had the really warm colors, I wanted to choose cool colors to go with this one. And I think I definitely achieved the difference in looks that I was going for. This one might be my favorite page of the month, or tied for my favorite page of the month anyway. 2 more pages to go, guys. This one I only started the day before. Yesterday was the 31st. I think I started this on the 30th, and I just whipped it out so fast. It was so fun once I got going. Tropgoth by Carla Magana. I love her art style so much. This is my first page in one of her books. And so I based it with alcohol marker. Her and the snake and the plant and the skull and everything is all with the newer coal part brush tip alcohol markers. But the ground and the sky I did with my old fine tip ones because I didn't want to waste the ink on the newer ones. So the sky's a little bit streaky. And then my fine point started to run out here. So then I had to switch over to the chisel tip for the rest of it. But that's fine. I covered it with some stars. Stars are hard to do to make it not just look like polka dots. But I love her. I love her. I love her. And, so I was originally going to make all this purple. I ended up going over it with black. There was a lot of like coloring one thing and then going over it again. I love the way that I've done it. I love her skin tone. I ended up getting a little bit blotchy here, but then I just decided to kind of go over that half of the face and make it just like shadow, which I think works. So then I went over her nails and all this jewel stuff with paint pen. And I went over the paint pen after it dried with a holographic nail polish. And I don't know if you can see the glitter. I'm not sure if it translates. I'll see when I'm editing. If it doesn't translate, I'm going to insert a picture of it with flash because it's really cool. It's like an actual holographic nail polish with the rainbow flash, you know, as holographic should be. And I just thought it looked really, really cool on the on her jewels and stuff. And then I used that same holographic nail polish on the studs here, but I had based them in a silver paint pen, so to give it a little bit of a different look. I like how the moon turned out. I love the skull. I think the skull has a little bit of like an ice dye, tie-dye look to it, and I think it's really cool. All I knew was I wanted it purple and green, and that was it. And then I just kind of went with it, and I love how it turned out. And my alcohol markers definitely went outside the lines, but you know, Carla Magana says color outside the lines, so I just went with it. I really like it. I had fun. And so this was for Christina's Art Corner. She has her hashtag for Tropgoth. It is Tropgoth 2024. So this is my first page in it, but I definitely want to catch up. That's what all these blue tabs up here are, all the pages for catching up in it. And then I have the July page, or the August page tagged as well. So that's that. And then the last one that I'm going to show you, I finished literally last night, July 31st at like 8 p.m. I was finishing it up 8:30 p.m. And so this is my project book with Emily, Art Studios on YouTube and Instagram. And so we're doing this as our project book. And I had already shown you that I had done the nameplate page and the intro page. And the intro page ended up getting some paint bleed through from a paint pen. But whatever, you live and you learn. At least it was just the intro page and I learned my lesson. But this is my title page and I am so freaking happy with it. Words cannot describe how happy I am with this page. Unfortunately, I did smudge a little bit here. I'm leaving it alone for now. I'm going to try probably to fix it, but for now, I just want to leave it alone. I just don't want to mess with it. So the background here is soft pastel. I used a mixture of Arctics and Color pencils for my shading. I don't think I mentioned in my other ones, but basically anytime I've shaded with pencils, it is a mixture of Color and Arctics and sometimes Color Macron as well. I don't tend to use exclusively one set of pencils. They're just kind of all on the go, and whatever one has the color that I need is what I use. So I know all three, the Color Macron, and the Arctics were used in the copper, and I think just the Color and Color Macron in the gems. I am so happy with how the gems turned out. I had a vision for this and I totally achieved the vision. So I went in with the black paint pen here and all the fine details. And it turns out that whenever the nib, it's the kind that has the plastic nib with the little tiny holes that the paint comes out of. And so whenever there was any kind of scraping of the nib on the paper, that's when these marks came through. So I did learn how to kind of float the nib across and get the paint. And you can see I actually ended up with a smoother coat down here when I was doing that. Up here, excuse me, sorry. Up here is a little bit patchier. So once I learned to float it, I got a smoother coat and nothing came through. Lesson learned. I like the look of the black paint. So the outer part, I actually just used basic craft paint. I use this stuff. Also for my Canadian friends, a lot of people use the apple barrel paint because it is matte acrylic paint, and you can get it on Amazon. But when I was looking on Amazon, it's like $16 for 3 bottles, and this is $1.25 at my Dollarama, and it is matte and it is opaque and it is streak free. So for my Canadian friends, your deco art from Dollarama works just great and is nice and matte. In the future, I might, if I want to use the paint, I might actually just use a fine brush and get in the details so that I don't risk the bleed through like this. But I'm going to share with you here Emily's page for the title page. I love how hers turned out. It's so pretty. I really like the colors that she used. And then I'm also going to share, because I didn't before, I'm going to share with you, because I had done these pages first, but she had done her title page first. So she had to catch up with these, and I had to catch up with my title page. So I'm going to share with you then her intro page and nameplate page. And interestingly, they came out with a fairly similar color scheme, but I feel like there's not a lot, like when it's just green vines, there's not a lot else to do with it anyway. So yeah, I really like how hers turned out. And so then, yeah, our next page is moving on to this, and we'll see how that goes. I'm really excited. A little bit of story time. When I was coloring this page and I was getting near the end of it, and you could really see see it coming along with the black, and I was just so thrilled with how it looked. And I was saying to my partner that, I wanted this page to set the tone for the book. And then I go and smudge it, and I was like, no, that's like not the tone I wanted to set. But in crochet, they say, I don't know, I think it's like an old-timey saying that when you're doing a crochet, if you make a mistake and you leave a mistake in there, it's good luck, because then you put your heart and soul into the piece that you make. And so by having the mistake, it makes an opening for your soul to not be kept there, kind of thing. Something along those lines. So I'm going to go with that this is just the, so my heart and soul, it might go into it, but it won't stay there. It stays with me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I'm going with. This is my absolute favorite page for the month. There's no question. I'm so happy with it. But this is a close second or tie. And yeah, I love the colors in this. I love how it looks. I love everything about it. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. We're going into a long weekend here in Canada, and I'm going away for a few days, which is exciting. And I'm hoping to get some coloring done while I'm away. I'm going to bring Joanna Basford's Small Victories with me. So we'll see if I get a little bit of time to color in there. And I'm thinking when I come back, I'd like to start filming my coloring book collection, because I think it's grown enough that it'll be a bit more than just one video. So that's my plan. I hope you guys join me for that. If you liked today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing if you're not already. I'd love for you to join me on my journey here, and giving it a like and a comment and a subscribe really helps me to grow my channel, because I enjoy doing this. So thanks for sharing your time with me today, and be kind to yourselves out there. Bye-bye.